What's up, everybody? It's Seth from Fowler Customs, and over the last couple days I've been going sneaker shopping around New York, and this is just some video footage of what I found. So the first place I hit up was the Foot Locker on 34th Street. Like I've said a million times, this Foot Locker is crazy. There's always amazing stuff to be found. They still have the 326 Air Max Day Air Maxes, which are sold out online. I'm pretty sure they're sold out everywhere, but I found them here, which, like I said, I wasn't expecting. They had these silver foams, which are really not in my radar. I'm really not a fan of them. The only foams I'm actually looking forward to grabbing are the coppers, because years ago I really wanted them and I wasn't able to grab them. They had some pretty interesting Kobe's, like they had the Oregon Duck Kobe's, which was a pair that I actually consider picking up, because although the Kobe AD isn't my favorite basketball shoe, or many people's favorite basketball shoe, it's not a bad looking shoe and it's pretty comfortable, so I wouldn't mind rocking the shoe around. Of course, they had the low 31s, which are a shoe that I've considered grabbing just to try, but I don't think they're different enough from the regular 31s for me to do a performance review of them. The Jordan wall at this Foot Locker is always insane. Like, they always have something crazy. The last couple months, they've had the Pantones just sitting. I think they finally sold out. They've got a lot of the new releases. Some stuff that sold out other places, like you had the black and gold 4s. They had the BHM 1s, which are really interesting because you can actually pull off the swoot and the wings logo, and I think it's a really cool touch. They had some interesting foams. They had more of those Vachetta Tan foams. They're not a bad looking shoe, but like I said, not really on my radar. Just foams in general I'm not a huge fan of. They're not very comfortable for me, but you know, it is what it is. I really like that copper hit on the swoosh. I think that's a nice touch. They had some more Air Force 1s, some decent stuff that I would even consider grabbing. I'm not really a huge fan of high Air Force 1s. Then they had the infrared Flyknit Air Max 90s. Definitely a clean shoe. I love my pair. I have the OG pair. I think it's awesome. Like I said, more of these 326 Air Maxes. The materials, I'm sure you've seen on a lot of reviews, but they're not as nice as they look online. Like, a lot of that gray area is more of like a fuse overlay with some sort of suede texture than actual suede or an actually nice material. But they've got my birthday on the tongue, so I've been close to grabbing these a couple different times. Like, here's no exception. I was this close to pulling the trigger, but do I really need to spend $130 right now? Not really. So that was something that tempted me, but I'm going to pass on for now. Maybe it'll go on sale. Kind of doubt it, but we'll see what happens. Then after I checked out the Nike stuff, I headed over to the Adidas section of the store. There's this whole big section, like in a sort of different room, which is a really cool touch. They always have a lot of NMDs and Boost sneakers. Like, they had the Boost EQTs. They had some of the recent released EQTs. Some NMD colors that I hadn't seen before. Like, I hadn't seen that sort of tan and black NMD before. It was pretty interesting, and it's got 3M stripes. I actually don't mind this color at all. I'm not really in the market for another NMD R1. I have one that I wear all the time, and I just don't need another color. Of course, I hit up the Adidas basketball wall because they've got some really nice stuff. I've seen a lot of the uncaged Ultra Boosts sitting, like the multicolors and this black and white pair. I don't think they're as hyped as they used to be. Back when they first dropped, it was really tough to find a pair, and now you can kind of just find even pretty hyped pairs just sitting. Like, you'll see later in the video when I hit up Adidas, there's some stuff that I really didn't expect to find. But so I decided to leave Foot Locker, and the next place that I hit up is honestly one of my favorite sneaker stores in the city or in general, and of course that sneaker store is Kith. This was a big surprise to see at Kith because this is one of my grails for years. This is actually the first time I've held the new 2017 version of the sneaker. Obviously they're sold out. Kith likes to tease you and put shoes that are sold out on their displays that you can actually pick up and touch. It's really frustrating, but hey, you know what, at least you get to see the sneakers. There was one pretty big surprise though that I'm about to show you in a second. They actually still had all the white mountaineering NMDs except for the red and blue colorway. That was actually really surprising because I came a couple days earlier and they didn't have them, so maybe they had a small restock. But this was the R2s. I did a review on these recently. I actually really like that shoe. I think it's an awesome colorway. I think it's an awesome look. And if you guys are near Kith, check it out. They still had some Dornbeckers left over, nothing crazy, nothing really good. And then they had this. I totally forget what this is called. And I actually really hate the way it looks. I think it looks awful. I'm sure there's someone out there who loves it. I'm sure it's hyped for some reason. I don't know what it is. I'm never going to buy that shoe. Even if it's given to me for free, maybe I'll take it. Here were some nice boots. Again, I forget the brand of those, but they're nice looking. You had your Jordan wall at Kith, which is pretty nice. They always have stuff a little bit later than everyone else. For example, the premium Air Jordan 5s. I've said in the past that I actually like this sneaker. I think it's a nice looking shoe for sure, and I love the silhouette, but for $400, there's no way I'm grabbing that shoe. Even if it goes on sale for like $250, still out of my price range, still not something I'm trying to grab. Then I hit up Adidas, which is right behind Kith, so it's super easy to get to. If you're hitting one store, might as well hit the other one. They always have pretty good Ultra Boosts here. Like, surprisingly, they had the uncaged Color Ultra Boost, which out of the 2 Color Ultra Boosts that just released, this is the one I actually kind of like. I really like the blue and the gray look. I'm not a huge fan of that mirrored heel cup, but I do like the blue outsole. Again, this shoe was like $220 or $250, so not something I really want to spend for an uncaged Ultra Boost. And then of course you had the Silver Boost Ultra Boost Uncaged, which I've done a review on the regular version, which I actually like a lot better. I think it's a cleaner looking shoe. One thing you'll notice though is that the Silver Boost, unless you're comparing it right up against the White Boost, really looks a lot like White Boost, and you don't get a lot of credit for having a different color boost. So, I mean, I don't think it's worth the resale unless you like the color of the upper, but that's just me. Of course, I had to hit up the Adidas basketball wall. They have the Prime Knit White Crazy Explosives, the low tops. This is a shoe that when it goes on sale, or if I can find it somewhere for cheaper than retail, I'm gonna grab. Then another surprise, they actually have the Color Response TR, which I think is not a bad looking shoe. Out of the 2 Response TRs that they've done collabs on, the Kith one and then the Color one, I actually kind of like the Color one a bit better, but the Kith one will work better outdoors because it's darker, so you won't see the dirt as easily. But then again, I'm probably not going to be rocking that shoe outdoors because I'd be afraid to mess it up. But that might just be me because I'm a little bit of a hype beast. I can't lie about that. Of course, they hit up upstairs. They had some tubulars. They had this interesting tubular shadow with like a suede camo print. Not something I've seen before, and I don't love it, but I don't hate it. They had the Boost Stan Smiths. This is a shoe that I'm kicking myself because I should have grabbed right when it dropped and did a review. It's a really cool sneaker, and everyone seems to love it. But right now, I'm actually moving my studio to a different room of the apartment, which means I'm renting 2 rooms. So my budget is just effed up right now, so I can't grab anything for a while. And finally, I stopped at Extra Butter. It's right off the Essex Street stop on the M and the J and the F trains if you're ever in New York. It's a kind of a smaller store, and it's a little bit harder to find because you have to walk down this side street, and then it looks like sort of an old movie theater. It's a little weird, but I dig it. They have some pretty interesting stuff. Nothing that's like really crazy, but they always have some stuff you don't find a lot of other places. They still had the Vegeta Tan Air Force Ones that Sneaker Talk was pretty close to buying when we went sneaker shopping. If you haven't seen that video yet, make sure to check it out. There'll be a link at the top of the screen. They had some other brands, which actually you don't see a lot of. Some of them I didn't even know about. There were some sneakers and silhouettes that I literally had just never seen before, whether it was in-store or online. Like that little black slip-on right there. I have no idea what that is, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up. Then, of course, they had the Asics high top, crap, I forget what it's called. It's a name that I couldn't pronounce, but it's the knit version of this shoe. Not a bad shoe, but really similar to the Ultra Boost, except in Asics form. I don't hate the way it looks, though. I think it's a nice-looking silhouette. You had some more EQTs. A lot of these I really like, but I'm just not going to spend the money to grab a bunch of different EQTs. They had some pretty decent boots. They had some Tims, a lot of different Nike models and silhouettes. And then these guys, which I think were Pumas. I could be wrong on that. And if you guys know, leave a comment in the description below, because I actually don't mind the silhouette at all. I was actually, considering maybe even picking up that pair. Who knows? But it's not a bad looking shoe. Of course, they had the Converse and some more Adidas. Overall, it was a pretty dope spot, and it's definitely worth checking out. All the places I went are some of my favorite sneaker stores to go in the city, and I think you should check out for sure. I'm probably going to do a video on my favorite sneaker stores in New York, so stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to Fowler Customs if you want to see more content just like this, and follow Fowler Customs on Snups, Instagram, and on Twitter.